Hi, and welcome to Building with Barry, Habitat Buffalo's how-to video series that empowers families to care for their own home. I'm Barry Weiss. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most important issues that face homeowners, fire safety. Specifically, we're going to talk a little bit about fire prevention, but mostly what to do in case of a fire. According to firstalert.com, the top 3 causes of house fires are cooking, heating equipment, and faulty wiring. If you're a Habitat homeowner, you can be assured that your electrical system has been completely rebuilt and is up to code. So hopefully there are no issues with faulty wiring in your home. If you're not a Habitat homeowner though, we do urge you to seek out a building inspector to check out your wiring to make sure that it passes code and is safe for your home. Whether you're a Habitat homeowner or not, it is recommended that you have your furnace and heating system checked every other year if it's a new system. And if it's 10 years or older, or you don't know how old it is, you should have it checked annually. This will not only keep your system safe, but will also make it last longer and make it perform better. Okay, so I'm here in a Habitat for Humanity kitchen, just completed, still doesn't have appliances in it. But what it does have in here is a fire extinguisher that Habitat for Humanity provides to every homeowner. And we're gonna go over a little bit about how to properly use a fire extinguisher and make sure that it's safe and functional. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to remove it from the bracket. And all this does is you simply slide it right out. Okay, we're gonna set it up here and discuss a few of the functions of the fire extinguisher. Once you've located your fire extinguisher or you've purchased it, you wanna check a few things to make sure that it still can function. The first is that there's a dial here that has a big red area and then just a little small green area. And as long as the arrow is pointing into the green area, that means that it's fully pressurized and ready for use. If it is not in the green area, you have 2 options. Number 1 is to recharge it, which costs about $15 to $25, or the better option is just to replace it. And you can buy a home fire extinguisher for about $20. If you do not have a fire extinguisher, these can be purchased at any big box store or hardware store. Even some grocery stores carry them. You just want to make sure that you're getting one that's rated A, B, and C. And those are just the types of fires that it can contain and extinguish. The second thing you want to do is locate the date of manufacture, which is typically located and embossed on the bottom of the cylinder. And typically your fire extinguisher will tell you how long you can use this for after the manufacture date. And on a home cylinder, on a home fire extinguisher, that's typically 6 years. So we can use this one until 2026. I highly recommend that you have an annual or biannual home maintenance checklist. And on that list should be checking your fire extinguisher to make sure that it's still charged and just to confirm that the date is still good. Okay, next we're going to talk about how to use this. So if you ever have a fire in your home, you don't want to be figuring out how to use your fire extinguisher right then. So that's the purpose of this video, is to familiarize you with how to use it so that when it's time for use, if that should happen, that you are prepared and know exactly how to react. Your fire extinguisher will have instructions on it, so in case you've forgotten or you just need a reminder, you can just read these. And I am actually going to read right off of here because the cylinder is going to show me better and more accurately how to use this than my memory can. So the first thing we do is we pull the pin and hold the cylinder of the fire extinguisher upright. The pin is right here, and it just locks the handle so you can't accidentally use it when it's not time. It also has a little safety tag on here that is easily broken when you apply force to the pin. The second thing is to aim the nozzle, the hose, at the base of the flame. And you want to make sure that you're standing about 8 feet away from the fire. Number 3 is you squeeze and hold the lever while you're aiming the hose at the base of the fire. And lastly, you want to sweep in a side-to-side motion while aiming at the base of the fire. So the next thing in fire safety is discussing our smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. In a new home, you'll have a smoke and carbon monoxide detector on every floor of the home, including the basement, and you'll have one smoke detector in every bedroom. If you don't live in a new home, or you know that you don't have them in each of those rooms, you should make sure that you have them in there. If you rent your home, you should talk to your landlord and make sure that they put them in. It's their responsibility. If you own your own home, you can buy battery-powered smoke detectors and smoke and carbon monoxide combination detectors at any box store. Okay, I am safely up on my step ladder. If you have a step ladder or a step stool at your home, you should use that for checking your smoke detectors. I recommend against using a chair. There's just too many accidents that can happen, but if it's all you've got, just make sure you're safe and have someone hold on the chair while you're on it. Just a little bit about how often and why to check these. We want to test our system at least once a month. That is recommended by FEMA, and I'll show you how to test it in a second, but it gets loud. And you want to change the batteries on it at least once a year, but conventional wisdom is to remember to change your batteries in your smoke detector whenever you set the clocks, change the clocks for daylight savings time. In a Habitat home, our smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are all wired together, meaning that if there's a fire or smoke in one part of the house, all of the smoke detectors will go off throughout the entire house, so that anyone who's in a bedroom far away can be alerted that there's danger in the home and to evacuate the home. So we always want to test the system to make sure that it's functioning properly and everything's talking to each other and that the alarm still works. So the way that we do that, and it's going to get loud in a second, is there's just a simple test button that I'm going to push in a second, and we let that run its cycle, and then it'll turn itself off. Here we go. Okay, so the system has tested itself. You heard, you probably couldn't tell, but the smoke detectors were all going off across the entire home. So although our smoke detectors in a Habitat home are all wired together, and they're actually hardwired, meaning that they're fed by power to the house, they also have a battery in them, which acts as a backup in the case of a power outage. So the other thing that we always want to make sure of is that those batteries are still functioning. The telltale sign that your battery is not functioning properly or has died is that you'll hear a chirping noise. We want to make sure that even if we're not hearing that telltale chirping sound, that we're replacing the batteries before they need to be replaced. So the way that we change them is, it differs on different models, but it'll tell you where the battery is and how to open the door. On this Kidde model that we install in Habitat homes, you just pull this little window out, and there's a little 9-volt battery in here. And all you do is you take a new battery. I don't need to replace this one because it's a brand new home. You slide it in and close the door back up. If you're wondering why I'm crouching on the floor and it's poorly lit right here, it's because I'm directly in front of one of the windows in a bedroom. And aside from providing light and ventilation, windows in the bedroom are a means of egress, which is a term that means they're a way for us to escape a fire in case our path through the bedroom door is blocked. And so we have two styles of window typically that can serve as a means of egress. In this room, it is a casement window, which I'll show you how to operate. And then in other rooms, depending on what was installed, it's a double hung window, which I will also show an operation of. So first, for this window, there's a locking mechanism and then there's a crank. So we're going to unlock with this latch over here, which is just pushing it up. And then we unfold this crank and we just crank the window out. We open it all the way. We can pull the screen out, which I'm not going to do right now. And then you can just exit through the window. Now this is a first floor window, so the drop is only about 4 feet to the ground, but on a second story, it's recommended that you have a fire escape ladder, which you can purchase relatively cheaply at any big box store. And here we are at a single hung window. And I think before I said double hung. They're typically almost the exact same thing, but on a single hung, the top pane doesn't slide up and down, only the bottom does. On a double hung, they both do. Either way, it still can serve as an egress window, and these are much simpler to operate. The only function is we unlock both latches, and then the window will slide up. Now on this particular window, there is a half screen on the bottom. On a double hung, they'll usually slide up and down, but on this one, we just push it up and pull it in. And then we have clear access to the exterior of the house. So thank you for spending time here with us at Building with Barry today, and by us, I mean me, Barry. Fire safety is a really important topic, and for more information than I can contain in these videos, we have more guidance on proper use of the equipment and appliances in your home, including the fire extinguisher and the smoke detectors. And this information can be located in your homeowner handbook, which is provided when you move in and is also accessed on our website. Like and subscribe.